But I want to talk about, why we create those things. And in law enforcement in particular, most law enforcement agencies or aviation units have a unit fund. And those unit funds go to pay for things that the department's not going to pay for. Retirement gifts, for example. We just went to Dan Fooch. He was a lieutenant with San Diego County Sheriff. He just retired. We had a really cool party for him. They made him some really cool. They made it was a Huey blade, tail rotor blade, and they painted it and put some of his personal information on there. It was a really cool gift for him to walk away with. But those things cost money, so the unit funds go to pay for things like that. They pay for the parties that actually take place, the food that's served at those parties, the retirement or the Christmas parties that take place.
1, 2, 3. Yeah!
And then our department, we do an annual fly-in, which is a lot of work. Usually I'm the one planning it, which I enjoy doing. I volunteer to do it. So I'm not throwing shade at anybody that's not doing it, but those fly-ins are really expensive. Usually we pay for a speaker to come in. We feed everybody, breakfast and lunch. And so we use the unit fund money to front the money for those. And then usually we'll have somebody like Bell or Dallas Avionics or CNC Technologies. They'll come in and help pay for those things to take place. And then one other thing is like coffee makers and snacks, and then actual coffee for the coffee makers. Those are things the city's not going to pay for. So we end up, developing our unit fund to pay for those types of things. And when I was running that unit fund, I was always trying to figure out, what could we use to raise money with? What swag could we sell that people would like? And dude, I draw stick figures. Like art is not my thing. So it was always challenging for me to come up with a concept that would be cool, to put on a shirt. Or we did a belt buckle one time that was really cool. But then the other side is like, once you do have a concept, a lot of the companies that I would use or find that would take that concept, that drawing, and make it a vector file and then end up putting on a shirt. One, they were really unreliable. They, wouldn't get back to you. They wouldn't deliver what they said. Just had a ton of problems making that happen. So, once we found you guys through the podcast and what you guys are offering, that's a total solution. What you guys, one, your artwork's amazing. The process is so streamlined. Like once we submitted the artwork to you guys, the proofs came back and we went back and forth, and I think it was less than 2 weeks for sure. It might've been less than a week. So that's kind of where the conversation stems from. This is kind of why I wanted to bring you guys on and talk about what you can do, because a lot of units are in the same position that I was in, don't have somebody to go to, don't know how to make their concept real, and don't know how to, basically get off the ground. So, maybe Brett or Spencer, I don't know who wants to start, but maybe you guys can talk about, what you guys are doing as far as the custom work and how people can hit you guys up and get involved with that.
Basically, just go to the website, Brotallion.com. I'm not sure the exact link. It might be /custom apparel. But there's a few different avenues you can access that page through the website, depending on, how you're scrolling and stuff. And we have a basic form on there. It's, your name, contact information, organization name, and then, a feature to upload some images and stuff, whether you have hand drawn stick pictures and like you took a picture of it with your phone, or like you already have a vector file or whatever. Vector file may be too big to upload there, but a PNG or whatever, you can upload that to us, and that automatically lets us know that you're interested, and I will reach out and that's essentially how the process starts. I'll kind of talk through how the process works, take a look at a brochure, talk about what we offer. And if it seems like it's a good fit for that individual or that organization, then, we move you into the queue. And yeah, like you said, about 2 weeks. 2 weeks is our standard. That's what we aim to complete it in 2 weeks or less. I've seen projects knocked out in a day. A lot of variability goes into it with regards to, what kind of artwork we're dealing with. If people already have a piece of art, even if it's not high quality stuff, it doesn't take very much time to reformat that into the appropriate print file that we need to print on. And then even if it's a creation from scratch, it doesn't take long. I think the biggest issue we run into is lines of communication. This stuff's all over the world. So you might have somebody that's in Europe and there's a time zone difference, or, somebody reaches out and then they go on a CTC rotation for a few weeks and stuff. And so things like that can potentially slow down the process. But what we aim for is like from when you're handed off to one of our designers to when your web store is live is about 2 weeks. Plus or minus a couple of days is what we shoot for. So yeah, our designers can do anything you want, man. You guys work with Ryan. He's one of our best. And, if you have even if you don't have a stick figure drawing, you just have like ideas in your head, you guys can communicate via email, via, telephone. It's really up to the client and how they prefer to communicate. And our guys will talk through it and get some proofs out your way and get the art done. And then once the art's done, it's just setting up the printer and the back shop and all that kind of stuff, and good to go.
I wish I would have found you guys a lot sooner. I've spent hours upon hours of research going through. There's a program or an app called Fiverr, and you can pay artists to come up with different artwork. And I've probably paid 5 different people to kind of bring to life a concept that I had in my mind, and it never ever came out the way I intended it to. It gave me something to work with, and I think part of what we submitted to you guys was part of that. But, I never found what I was looking for until I reached out to you guys, and that the final design was badass. I'll hold it up for people that are viewing on YouTube. I actually can't even see right now. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, raise it up a little bit more, but
it's a great design. Ryan did a really cool job with it. I love the old school cartoon character type stuff. I was actually just talking about that the other day with a couple buddies for a different concept, but it's very cool.
If I could add something real quick, John, you kind of talked about the conundrum that you found yourself in, trying to get to the ideas in your brain to a shirt. And that's a problem that Spencer and I dealt with when we were, kind of managing this on the Army side in our unit. So at the end of the day, when we started this company and we're looking to diversify, we wanted to, come up with ways we could solve some problems within our community. And one of the big problems that we saw was providing an easy system to create custom brand or custom unit apparel. So, the basis of our program is, like Spencer said, is typically at least for the Army side, they like to set up a unit page. So basically on our website, your unit will have their own unique URL page, which will feature all your swag. From that page, we'll give you a QR code, we'll give you a flyer you can pass around, and it just makes it so easy because people can scan it. They can go right to their website, right to your site. You can order it right to your house. You can order as much or as little as you want. We always offer free shipping over $85. And we definitely offer a bulk discount, so in case you want to, the Army has unit funds as well. So people like to build money for that and along with the other services. So we absolutely can do that. And then along the lines of our designers, what's really cool about our designers is they're all connected to the aviation community. Everyone that we have is from our community. So it's awesome. And they're able to integrate and understand what you're thinking. And especially, they're all great. And Ryan is especially good at, conceptualizing and bringing your thoughts into a design. And his experience, let alone his talent and abilities, allow him to do that. And all of our designers have that expertise. So it's been great. I mean, it's really cool seeing things come together. And Spencer, we're pumping off units here and there, pretty frequently, and it's great every day seeing these units come out and all the cool design work that's being done. And I think it's ultimately boosting the morale throughout the Army Aviation community. People bringing back those old designs or whatnot, and pulling the golden era out of how kind of things used to be before the episode we were talking about, going back to one-piece flight suits and things like that. Like, that's ultimately what the solution we want to provide our community is, bring us back to just being stoked about what you do and having that lineage and that legacy. So
yeah,
kind of went off on a tangent, but
no, that's a big part of it. I think there's two aspects to what you guys are creating, and Spencer brought this up. One is the fraternal aspect, right? Like we're trying to build this community around what we're doing, and what we're doing is really cool, whether in public safety aviation or the military or really anywhere else in aviation. But we don't celebrate those things very well, at least in public safety aviation. And based on what you guys are telling me, it's the same within the Army aviation community. And I really think it should be celebrated. These programs that we're a part of are really cool. Everyone's worked really hard to get into those things. And you look at the legacy that has been built and the people that have come before you and the things that they've developed. Like, a lot of times those are forgotten. So this is kind of a neat way to draw that legacy out and really just bring pride into the unit, and which is great, So yeah, the fraternal part of it's huge. And he talked about that, through creating the page, the shop that people can purchase their stuff through. And then for the units that are wanting to create more of a fundraiser, that's where you can buy the bulk amount of product. And, that's where you can, and it's a pain. I did that a lot. Shipping became my arch nemesis when I was doing that. We buy a bulk amount of shirts from a printer, and I'm shipping these things just about every day. And I grew to hate it, but it was good. It was, I knew what I was doing it for. It was the end goal was what made it worth it, but it was still a pain. But it's cool that for those two things, you guys can make that work for whatever unit's looking for.